So I know that later on today, once polls start closing, everybody's going to be glued to their television. Is it going to be Kamala Harris? Is it going to be the convicted felon? But let's not forget, those are not the only two people running for political office this year. We got a lot of very important races happening all over the country. We got Ted Cruz and the potential of him losing his seat in Texas. That's going to be fun to watch. Maybe, or it's going to not be fun. I don't know. Rick Scott here in Florida, same thing. Maybe it's fun. Maybe it's terrible. But one race we really don't have to worry that much about is Kari Lake running for Senate in the state of Arizona. Even though Donald Trump is polling ahead in the state of Arizona, in fact, the last New York Times Siena poll before the election showed that Arizona is the only swing state out of the 7 that Donald Trump is winning. So, that's a good sign, by the way. However, Trump is winning in Arizona, and yet Kari Lake is losing. She is losing in that same New York Times Siena poll by 5 points to Democratic challenger Ruben Gallego. And Kari Lake knows this. And Kari Lake also knows that no matter what happens, she's just going to deny the results like she did in 2022. And we're going to be talking about her for several more years as she continuously files lawsuits, assuming there's lawyers stupid enough in Arizona to continue taking up her cases. Her previous lawyers, of course, have been sanctioned to hell and back, so they will probably be unavailable. Nevertheless, Politico decided it would be fun, for some reason, to do an interview with Kari Lake, ask her how things are going in the race, and based on her responses, she's already lost her damn mind. Here is what Kari Lake said, okay? Politico asked her, hey, Trump's winning, so we know Republicans are active in Arizona, but you're not. You're losing. So they said, do you think it could be sexism, right? If the Republican man is winning against a Democratic woman, but the Democratic man is winning against a Republican woman, they asked her, do you think sexism is playing a role in this? And here is her unhinged response. Bullshit! That's just crazy woke talk. I'm not voting based on somebody's genitalia. I don't give a shit about that. Okay. Crazy. They didn't ask how you were voting, though. Okay, they asked about the people in your state, because you've been losing in the polls all year, literally all year. You've never been ahead of Ruben Gallego, ever. And they're like, do you think maybe there is some sexism with the people in Arizona? And she's like, yeah, I'm not voting based on genitals. Cool, nobody cares. Nobody asked how you were voting. We're pretty sure Kari Lake is going to vote for Kari Lake, right? I mean, I don't think Kari Lake's going to go into the polling station, and I don't think Politico was trying to imply that Kari Lake's going to see her own name and be like, I'm not voting for a woman. She's kind of nuts. I'm going to vote for Gallego. Politico didn't think that, and they therefore were not asking you that. They were asking you if you think sexism is playing a role in why the men are winning and the women are losing, even though they're from different parties, right? And your response was to just go completely off the rails in a profane rant. Okay, definitely not normal. But here is what Lake continued with. And this just shows how delusional she has become. She's lost her mind. She said, my internal polling looks good. We're ahead of my opponent, and I feel comfortable with our polling. We take polling, but we also combine it with AI, which reads all of what's happening on social media and across the internet. Oh, okay. So what does that mean? It takes what's happening on social media. Does that mean it goes through anytime you put out a tweet and your own supporters like it? AI is like, oh no, people liked your tweet, you're totally going to win. Ignore the polls. What does it mean? Explain this in more detail. And I'm sure she won't, because what she's doing is laying out the argument that she is going to make when she loses. She's going to say that, no, my internal polling showed me winning by 5 or 6 points. AI said I was going to win, and they're never wrong. She's laying the groundwork because it's going to happen. And just like in 2022, we're going to have to sit here for another 2 years talking about how she still refuses to accept those election results and how she's filed another lawsuit. So buckle up. I don't want to talk about it, but I know I'm going to have to. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.